It now gives me great pleasure to welcome Gavin up to the stage. Gav's doing 6 weeks in Japan. We're really fortunate that our conferences are falling within that time. So let's make Gavin feel a warm welcome here at Rusutsu.
So, just working. Fantastic. It's always great to follow after an emergent physician and stand up and say I'm a psychologist. So, if everyone could just grab their Medicare cards, unlike many of the doctors in the room, I do bulk bill. But thank you so much for inviting me to come and have a chat today. A little bit about me, which will make a bit of context around the talk I want to talk about. I don't know why that's jumped to the next slide, but it doesn't matter. That's my first question I've got to ask you guys. So I've spent probably the last 25 years working with high-performance individuals. I started my career off with the Australian Olympic team. I was part of 3 Olympic Games. I went to Sydney, Athens and Torino, so I did both Summer Games, Winter Games, Paralympians, and got to hang out with some incredible athletes who achieved some of probably the most amazing feats I've ever seen. And for me, the memory that always holds true is probably my greatest memory, and I've worked with Olympic gold medal winners. But the one that always holds true for me, the greatest memory I have, is a young man by the name of Nick Fisher. Anyone know who Nick was? No? He's Olympian, pretty good at his sport. You're all, who are the skiers in the world? Hands up if you're a skier. Only a few. It's going to be a tough crowd of borders. Alright. Nick represented Australia in the moguls. And what was fascinating about Nick was that same year that Nick represented Australia, Dale Beck-Smith won a gold medal in the moguls. And Nick came 14th. But the story behind that is probably more important. Nick, going into the Olympics, had never made it past the first round. So how it works is 40 athletes start, the first fastest 20 that get down the mogul run, they go to the second round and compete for the medals. The second 20 go and sit and watch. Nick qualified 20th at the Olympics. The Olympics start in 3 days' time. The Winter Olympics do something the Summer Olympics don't do. It is fascinating for TV, it is incredibly stressful for the athletes, but it's really interesting from a psychological perspective to kind of see how it plays out. You'll notice at the Olympics, the person who goes down the fastest gets to sit in the winning couch down the bottom until they get booted off. Right? So it's like, you're the best until somebody goes down a little bit quicker. Anyway, Nick qualified for 20th, put his run down, sat in that first winning spot for 6 more runs, and then got bumped down and bumped down and bumped down. It ended up coming 14th. His best ever event at an Olympic Games, and he pulled it out at the Games. And for me, the fascinating insight is kind of how, what was going on, what happened behind that. And so I want to share a few little insights about that and kind of what can we learn from it. I'm going to tap into a couple of talk from before around resilience and talk a little bit more about resilience, what it looks like and how do we build into it. But I've got a question for everyone. What is the difference between good and great? Talking with the person next to you, there's a prize in it for anyone who gets it right. You guys tell me, what's the difference between good and great? Not the difference between average and good.
Being remembered.
Being remembered, so people who are good aren't remembered? No? Anyone else?
A medal.
What was that?
A medal.
A medal, is that good or great?
That's right.
It's great. So if you don't medal, you're just not even an athlete. Okay? So tomorrow you're a boarder, sir?
No.
No? Skier? Excellent. So if you make it down a decent run and you put in probably your best ever skiing and your mate looks over and says, yeah, that was pretty good. How do you feel about that?
Not good enough.
Not good enough. Fair enough. Any other takes? What's the difference between good and great? Yeah?
Level of satisfaction.
Overcoming. So you're saying people who are good don't overcome anything?
No, I think that the becoming great includes overcoming.
So you're adding a nuance to the greatness start being good and then great being overcoming something? Okay. Look.
1% club.
Say that again?
1% club.
1% club. Is that the good or the great?
Heading towards great.
The great. Alright. So, well, that's an interesting one, yeah, people's perception. So think about it, right? Yeah, I think I know my audience to some degree. You know, I fall over, I get hurt. And I call 000. 911, 112, whatever country I'm in, right? Do I want the good or the great paramedic to turn up? I want any paramedic to turn up, thank you. Right, how do I know whether they're good or great? Now, I get to the hospital, is it the good surgeon or the great surgeon who's going to fix me? Is it the good nursing staff or the great nursing staff that are going to help me out? Can we define really the difference by skill level? And my argument is no, we can't. And in fact, if I'd ask what's the difference between average and good, I think most people can kind of define that. We know when something's just enough, and then anything above that, we accept that, right? And for most of us, if I asked you, who would you want to treat you, you'd probably say, I want the person who's great. Yes? No? No? Happy to take the trainee doc who's half asleep, has had a few drinks.
I don't want the attitude.
You don't want the attitude that goes with greatness. What was that called?
Usually means they don't listen.
They don't listen. Okay, fair enough. Well, here's my definition and the difference between good and great from a psychological perspective. Cool. There we go. It's the ability to perform consistently under pressure. Right? So my argument is everyone who's learned a skill, can do a skill, has the capability, we're all good. All of us are good. When we start to look at it from a psychological perspective and the difference between great, it's the ability to do that skill consistently under pressure. There's a couple of things in there that you can reflect on. What does consistently mean? Well, you do the same thing over and over again. So a lot of us can do that, right? We can maintain the same task and we can repeat the same task. But can we do it under pressure? And that's where I think it starts to get interesting. Because what's pressure for me is not going to be what's pressure for you. Right? The way you perceive that, we heard the talk just before about risk and around perception, right? So what looks challenging to Charlie from a climb, he might look at something and go, well, there's no pressure in that, I can climb that. You and I might look at it and go, there's absolutely no way I would ever do that. Right? Same thing applies to skiing tomorrow. You might look down the hill and go, can't do it, right? You go get a lesson, you learn some new skills, you practice it a few times. All of a sudden, your interpretation or your perception of that particular risk at that point in time might change, and therefore, we might want to have a go at it. And the more we do something, maybe we change out the way we perceive what pressure is. So, something for you to quickly take away and have a bit of a think about. What creates pressure for you? What's your pressure moment? Right? And then, if we can understand that, and we know what creates pressure for us, then we can start to do something about it. We can put things into play to develop it. That's fundamentally the job that I had working with the Australian Olympic team. Identify what is the pressure component for each one of these athletes, right? Then build for the most part, a bespoke program that said, how are we going to help you develop and perform consistently under pressure? And then send them on their merry way and hope they get that. And I would argue, if you reflect on your own experiences, I'm hoping many of you are nodding your heads at least internally and having a think about, that's what we do. I've then spent the second part of my life working with corporate Australian. I've run a global consulting company around the world delivering these types of programs for CEOs. And you know what? It's exactly the same. Their pressure moments are just slightly different. Maybe the outcomes are a little bit different, but the pressure moment is pretty much exactly the same. But we do know there's a couple of other factors that come into it. So I want to share a few of them with you. We don't have time to go through all of them, but we're going to go through a couple. So when we think about performing under pressure, we know there's a few factors that come into play. And these are some of the things that we can take away and have a think about and think about how do we build and develop these concepts. I'm going to focus on two of them, and I've got a couple of little, hopefully some practical activities, get you up out of your chair to do some stuff. First up is this idea of resilience. And I've got I guess my definition of resilience is maybe a little bit more than, without minimising it, the standard take a knock and get back up, which is often how we perceive a lot of that resilience. It's that ability to get back up. I look at resilience from the perspective of the idea of relentless persistence. How do we keep pushing through, even when things start to get tough? How do we face a challenge? How do we face and overcome something that may at the time seem insurmountable? Sustained appropriate focus. We need to be goal orientated. We need to know what those goals are. We need to know what's going to distract us. And therefore we can practice under those environments. Right? Think back to when you were training. How easy was it to do some tasks when you were on your own and you were sitting down and you were just going through the motions of learning something? Pretty easy, wasn't it? Yep. Remember the first time you had to do it with everyone watching you? Yeah. My daughter's doing a double degree in nursing and business at the moment, and she's an incredible kid, but she's one of these kids that she studies it and she knows it and she can demonstrate it and she can articulate it. And then before she goes into do OSCEs each semester, she goes into complete panic mode, right? And then comes out with a 9 or a 10 out of 10 every time, right? And that's part of her process, and she's getting slightly better, but it's still fascinating to watch. The minute the pressure situation changes, you know, you can see the criteria. For my sins, he's left, he's walked out. I retired a couple of years ago, and so in my spare time I decided to become a ski instructor. I've been skiing for many, many years, and then went back to become a ski instructor. And that's a fun experience for any of you who want to go back and retrain in something that you think you're good at, but you really aren't, and then have to learn about it. Anyway, level 1's pretty easy. Everybody can do a level 1 ski instructor course. No disrespect to other level 1s in the room, if there are any. And then I decided to do the level 2. And the jump between level 1 is not like a jump from high school to university. It's kind of like a jump from primary school to doing a PhD. That's kind of the leap. And they make you do 6 tasks. Anyway, short of the long story is I passed all the tasks except the one, the important one. Apparently I couldn't ski to the right level, but I could do all the teaching and the explaining, all the rest of it. Anyway, I got to do the reset, and I thought I'd do a little experiment. I don't have the image, unfortunately, but I'll just describe it. Prior to the reset, I got to ski on the run and do a practice run. And I was wearing my Garmin, and I was watching my heart rate through the morning, and I was doing the exact same runs I was going to do that afternoon. My average heart rate was about 95 beats per minute, right? Doing short turns, medium turns, and a free ski down a pretty decent pitch. That afternoon, we then went into the exam. And fortunately, I did pass. My average heart rate that afternoon was 147. On the same run, on the same snow, on the same day, literally 2 hours apart, the only thing that changed was the context, right? So my body knew something was up. I was under some form of pressure. I was being evaluated. I was being tested. And all of a sudden, you can see this change. Discipline, right? And look, discipline is very easy. Just do what you say you're going to do, right? But the problem with that is that what that doesn't take into account is the ambiguity of the world we live in. We live in an ambiguous world. It doesn't allow for us to just do the things we said we're going to do, right? So for your skiers and boarders out there, you get taught to go, whether you're doing a short turn or long turn or wherever it might be, you follow a certain protocol until you hit a bump. And then what do? Well, you have to be able to adapt to that environment. And so for me, discipline really talks about how do we adapt to our environment but still maintain the level that we want to place. And the last piece of the puzzle is the concept of dealing with failure. And I call this the motivation to succeed, right? As opposed to the motivation to avoid failure. It's not fear of failure, it's a motivation to avoid failure. Because I see the construct of motivation sitting across a continuum. We're either motivated to succeed or we're motivated to avoid failure. The definition of motivated to avoid failure is pretty simple. It's the avoidance of the negative evaluation of yourself, by yourself, or others. The negative evaluation of yourself, by yourself, or others. Who likes to be negatively evaluated? Right? Who likes to fail? So not one person likes to learn. Oh, we had one up the back there. It was fascinating that we live in a world where for some reason...
Like to.
Yeah, I love failing.
No, it's good for you. Doesn't mean you have to like it.
Yeah, but if you're not liking it, I don't think you're learning from it. I love failing.
Afterwards.
Well, yeah, but then you go through the process of going, well, I'm hating this experience, and I would argue the learning is a little less sticky, maybe. So, one of the take-homes I challenge you to do is enjoy your failures. Learn from them. As opposed to being motivated to succeed, where we simply see failure as a stepping stone to future success. And so therefore all failures, are simply a process. So, quick question. There was for those of you who are astute financial investors, Does everyone know the product WD-40? Yeah, you know what it stands for? Water Displacement Formula 40, which means Formula 39 didn't work. 38 was pretty shitty, right? So, hands up if you want to invest in WD-1. None of you. You would all be billionaires if you invested in one, right? All of us want to invest in WD-39, don't we? Because then we know it's going to succeed the next time around. Well, we didn't know at the time. But the point about it is, there's something about failure that I think we struggle with as a society, that we don't seem to embrace it, we seem to avoid it, we seem to shy our children away, we seem to protect them from it. We do the same for ourselves. We tend to blame, justify, defend and deny things, rather than looking at experiences and learnings and saying, well, how can I make this relevant and important to myself? And so within all of those, I thought it might be interesting, given the time that I have, to play around with two of the concepts. So hopefully this might work. I want to see if there's any Olympians in the room. All right? He shook his head already. He's like, nah, not really, right? All right, everyone stand up for me. Okay. Very, very, very simple task. Okay? Your challenge, in this you need to be truthful to yourself. You're welcome to lie, but you're only lying to yourself. Your challenge is to think to yourself that if you do this task that I'm about to say, for the next 4 years, so we're going to mirror an Olympic campaign, okay, for the next 4 years, you are eligible to try out for the Olympics. This doesn't give you the guarantee. You just get to go to the tryouts. Fair enough? Yeah? All right, so in your chosen sport, whatever it might be, in 4 years' time, you get to try out as long as you agree to do everything that I say. If you don't, just sit down. Fair enough? Yep. All right, let's see how we go. Okay, number one, here we go. No days off for tiredness or apathy or sickies. Wow, okay, sweet. I lost about half the room and I've got another 8 to go. All right, let's keep going. Got to get up early in the morning and do some training. I lost a few more. All right, cool. All right, for those of you still standing, look around. There's a couple of potential Olympians in the room. We'll keep going. Okay, we're going to test you out as well. So we're going to do some skin fold testing. So it's stripping down your undies. You all know what it is. All the exhibitionists in the room are like, yeah, whatever, bring it on. That's the fun one. It's always interesting to see who sits at that. She's like, no, you will sit with me. No one's... Seriously, she just looked up at him and went, no, I'm sitting, you're sitting as well. Right? No one's putting their hands on him and taking his gear off and putting clippers on. All right, what else we got? We can do some drug testing as well. No. Schedule 3 and above, or 4. Right, so I have a quick story. I have to tell the story. I got to go to the Paralympics, and I was my job at the Paralympics was, for all intents and purposes, was pee patrol. So what that means is, every time an athlete wins a gold medal, they have to give a urine sample to make sure that everything's above and beyond. And so because the medical staff deemed that the psychologist was doing nothing, I got to go to the bathroom and watch to make sure that all the protocols were followed through. It's a pretty solid protocol, right? It's A samples, B samples, and the like. Now, in the good old days, what they would used to do is they would get a bag full of clean urine and shove it into their jacket pocket, and then, accidentally have a catheter running out their arm, and out it went. That all fell apart when a few male athletes were found out to be pregnant. Be careful whose urine you get, was the message from that one. But clearly there were some issues. So now, to deliver your sample, it is shirt up to your waist, pants to your ankle, and there is an individual sitting in the stall with you watching you deliver the sample. Okay, so have that in mind. Now what do you think about Ben? So Ben won 7 gold medals at the Sydney Paralympics. Ben's a single-arm amputee swimmer, incredible kid. 18-year-old at the time, and with absolutely no shame whatsoever. So in we go into the bathroom after his first win, and in we walk, and there's this lovely little old man who follows us in. And so Ben takes his 2 samples, and he walks into the toilet to put the sample down so he can deliver it. And this guy says to him, no, you can't do that. I have to see you deliver it. You've got to go to the urinal. Right? And Ben turns to him and just goes, so which one are you holding? And with that, I'm, no pun intended, pissing myself laughing at the back. And Ben got to go to the bathroom, and the guy stayed over his shoulder and watched. Rather amusing. Anyway, we've got a few still standing. Let's see how we keep going. Okay. So now, all of your training you get put in the media. People are watching. Cameras are there all the time. Oh, don't like the cameras on? Excellent. So for those of you who don't like the cameras on you, the next thing you got is cameras are going to be on your family as well. Following them around. You know, they're all going to make it into some TikTok video at some point in time. All right, we've got a few people who don't like their family still standing. Excellent. All right, last couple. We're going to see how we go. No more chocolates or alcohol. Yeah? All right. Lollies, Biscoff sweets. Cool, so we've got 4 people out of a group of, what, nearly 250? That are vying for this final opportunity to just try it. Now, what do you reckon the average Olympian earns? I reckon I'll challenge you. What was it, £4.50 an hour? Just, what, £1.50 in overtime? Yeah. In £25,000? 35? Yep, so in Australia it's about $25,000. So you're prepared to earn 25 grand for the next 4 years? Oh, there we go. We lost one. We lost another. Are you two prepared to do that?
No conferences in Rusutsu.
Yeah, hang on. You're at a conference in Rusutsu and you want to earn 25 grand a year for the next 4 years? Alright, give him a hand. We've got 2 potential Olympians. Well done. Thanks, guys, you can see. But I think the point through that is, you know, what I was challenging you to do was to think about the concept of discipline as to, okay, so when am I not going to put up with all this other stuff? How much am I prepared to put up with? For the second thing, when we look at the idea of resilience, this one's a bit more trickier. Hands up if you think you're resilient. Ooh. He's gone up. Yeah, maybe sometimes. Right? Most hands have gone up. All right. So I'm going to need a couple of volunteers. I reckon I'm going to need, I don't know, I've got space here for maybe 20. Can I get some volunteers? Come on, coming up. I need 20 volunteers, reasonably healthy individuals. Come on. She put you down for the caliber. Come on over. Come on. I need a few more. Keep coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. 7, 8, 9. Yep, come on down. Yep, come on up. So, there we go. Give me a hand. All right, great. Guys, so there is a prize in it. I've written a couple of books. So the winner of this little thing, there is a prize in it for you. Now, it's my first time, so this gets to be the inaugural of anything, because first time I get to do it. But you guys get to play a little bit of a part, okay? So, once you find out what the task is, there is some space in between some of the chairs. If anyone else wants to participate to understand their own level of resilience, you're welcome to. Otherwise, what I need you to do is kind of, I don't know, live vicariously through the people up the front there to get a bit of a sense and have a think about it. So, here is my challenge for all of you. Over the next, I don't know, yeah, some of you look reasonably fit, so maybe 5 minutes or so, 4 for some of you. I want you to really pay attention to all of the thoughts going through your head from now. All right? I really want you to pay attention. Almost if you can, record the thoughts that you are thinking. For those of you out in the audience, I'd like you to think about the thoughts that you think they might be thinking, right? And so you need to project your thoughts onto them as if you were in those positions. All right, we're all on the same page? Yep, okay. So, what we're about to do, guys, is we're going to have the inaugural conference plank off. Alright? So, I want you to remember what I said? You might want to take your jacket off, mate. Cat made you out of a car. Right? Trust me, take your jacket off. Right? So, oh, there we go. Alright, so remember, I want you to have a think about all the thoughts that are going through your head. For those of you out there, same thing, right? Really pay attention to what's going through. So, a couple of little things about planking. Everyone know what planking is?
Not quite.
Not quite? Oh boy, you're in for a surprise. Probably, I would argue, the worst physical activity you can do. It just hurts from the start, right? But the average Olympian can plank for about 4 minutes. Okay? Right? So the average Olympian can plank for about 4 minutes. Right? There's a prize in it for the winner. So whoever wins gets a signed copy as well.
Wow. That's the motivation.
Yeah, there's some motivation for you. Right? Have a look around and maybe have a quick look at your competition, scope them out. Decide that there we go, now it's getting serious. Decide that if you're going to lose, who do you want to make sure you beat? Alright, so if you are going to lose, at least go look, as long as he drops before me.
Just one person.
As long as you're the first. Alright, cool. So hold on to, so maybe it's the,
Can't do it. Win.
Yeah, alright, there's a little bit of honesty that is coming to play now. I'd like you to have a think about for yourself, how long do you think you could plank for? Alright, so in some of you seconds, for others, minutes.
Can you explain again what it is?
I'm going to show you in a second.
Before I commit to how long I can do.
So, if anyone else is interested and wants to have a go, feel free. There's spaces in the room. I'm not seeing too many volunteers.
Charlie, you
a
can
couple
be
of glasses
Charlie.
of wine go up. All right. So
Charlie will be planker.
now, is there an age? Is it like golf, a par? No.
No.
Right. So this is the only time in a corporate environment that I get to look at people's backsides. Right? So if your bum goes up in the air, you're out.
Oh.
Right? If it goes too low to the ground, you're out. If you lock your elbows in, you're out. I'm about to show you what a plank is. Right? For everyone else, I don't know how you're going to see this, but I don't know, stand up, have a look around. Cheer them on while we're going. I'm going to show you what a plank looks like. You ready? Arms out in front. Straight back. Got it? Yeah, you're out. You're out. Yeah, tighten up the bowlers on the snowboard boots. Alright, so as I said, everyone else wants to have a go. Otherwise, really important, I want you to pay attention to your thoughts. Alright guys, down you go. Shoulder width apart. Alright, come and cheer them on. If you've got any friends that are up there, come and cheer them on. Alright, hold up. Ready? On your marks. Hands together? No, you can have your hands together, that's fine. It's not going to help, trust me. Alright, if you have any friends that are up here, come up and cheer with them. Alright, ready? On your marks. Get set. Plank. Off you go. Alright, let's see who's going to drop first.
Good ball. Good ball.
There's great form looking here. As long as the snowboarder doesn't win, I'm happy. That's kind of my thing. Oh, Dylan, you're getting a little bit. Where's Dylan? Oh, there he is. I'm seeing a slight raising there in the t-shirt. No, down. Up you go.
White t-shirt, bum up.
Yeah, blue shorts need to come down a little bit. There we go. All right. So that's 30 seconds in, guys. 4 minutes to go so you can become one of the Olympians. Right? I'll keep an eye on the clock. Alright, hey, doing well, not bad for a bunch of nurses, paramedics and doctors. Alright, who's going to be the first to drop? Steroid water. Someone's down low here, get yourself up, buddy. You better get up, that's your first warning. That's 1 minute in, guys. 1 minute down. Oh, we got our first one, he's down. Snowboarder?
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's soft. Snowboarders are soft. Alright. Oh, he's shaking. There's yeah. Alright. Cool. Hey, minute 30. We're almost at the 2 minute mark. There we go. 2 minutes is ticked over. Yeah, I'm sorry, I looked at the seconds. Alright, cheer them on, guys. We're going to start. Let's get started. Looking good. 2 minutes 30. Trust me, for those of you who have never done this before, all of them are really hurting right about now. Right? Yep. And the question is, you can cheer them on, mate. Dan, you've got a bit of a cheer spot, mate. Yeah? Now, get your hips up. Nice and flat. Wow. There we go, we lost another one. Give him a hand, well done. 2 minutes 41, sir. And you dropped at 2 minutes 53. 3 minutes is up now. It's the 3 minute mark. Oh, we lost another one. 301, well done, give him a hand. 310. Alright, guys, pick who you think is going to be a winner and go cheer him on. No. Chris, Dylan, Harry. Come on. There. Oh, she's like, no, you're not going to win. She's going to win. Wow, they're doing well. Look at that. 3:30. We're getting close to that 4 minute mark. No, yeah, get that bum up, Dylan. Dylan, that's your first warning. If you drop again, you're out. And the 4 minutes are up. Now. 4 minutes, alright. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go. Alright, who's going to take it away? We've got in the room. Alright, we now need to be a battle of who they are. So does anyone know what profession these people are? All paramedics? Nurse? Alright. Alright. 4 minutes 30. Doing well. We lost it at 4:32. Well done, mate. You don't have to not know what a planet was. Dylan! Oh, you went before. You lost it before. Sorry. You didn't even make it 4 minutes. Ah, cool. Oh, we lost another one. 4:51. Alright, now, everybody. What's really important now is, now we're down to who's not going to win a medal. The next person who drops gets that infamous 4th spot. They get nothing. They don't even make it into the books. You know, there's the gold, there's the silver, there's the bronze, and then there's the poor sod who came 4th. You may as well come last. Oh! We lost her! Alright. Well done. So, we've got, I heard, you were a nurse, aren't you? Yep. Nurse, paramedic, and doc. Oh, look at that. One nurse, one paramedic, and one doctor. Battle of their professions. Who's going to take it away? Jeez, we're up to 6 minutes. Almost at 6 minutes and 10 seconds. Oh, the nurse is shaking. Oh, he's gone. All right. Come see me afterwards. I'll give you the book. All right. Now, thanks so much, guys. Well done. That's not bad. PSD. The average Olympian can actually play for about 15 minutes, so... But anyway, now, that was interesting. I'll just wait for you to get back to them. Alright. Well done. Alright, let's... Okay, team. Let's go jump through some of this. Hold it up. Okay, so what was really important was I asked them to have a think about the thoughts that were going through their heads, right? Because there are 3 distinct phases that we see when it comes to understanding your own personal resilience. So even if you weren't doing the task, you probably participated to a certain level around what would I have been thinking through that process. So, let me just skip through this. There we go. What were some of the thoughts that would go through people's heads? Yeah? What the hell? Why am I doing this? I won't swear because I know it's being recorded. Right? I don't want to do this. I can't believe it. Why did I sign up for it? You know, there's no real reason for it. It's interesting. Might see how I go. Could have been a thought that we had. Right? No way, and then insert the person you looked at was ever going to beat me. Right? So some of you may have been thinking that. Some of you may have been thinking, it's only 4 minutes. I think I'm a freaking Olympian. Rubbish in there. You know, some of you might have got to that 4-minute mark and go, well, I wasn't really interested in that. I wanted to see what I can actually do. Different type of thought. And others, where's my nurse mate? Who's going to smash it out of the park, including telling me to F off along the way, which was perfectly timed. But what's really interesting is if we start to break it down, right? So if we reflect on some of the thought processes, and if you think about it, for those of you who participated, you know, you guys have the experience. For those of you who haven't, you're going to have to use your projection skills, right? What was I thinking before? When we were about to get told we're about to do a task, and let's be honest, most of you went, oh. Right? And for those of you who weren't up here, you went, thank God I didn't volunteer. Agree? Yeah. So just think about the mindset that puts us into when we're about to do a task that is challenging. We're already starting with that mindset of, I don't really want to do this. Right? So regardless of how good your resilience is, if that's not the way you're starting, you're starting on an uphill battle. I wonder though, if we can, consider the mindset you put when you get faced with a challenging task. Right? How can you use past experiences to future-proof yourself? This will come up a few times. How can we be goal-orientated around what it is I'm trying to achieve? Right? How can I set myself up so that the failures can simply be a stepping stone to future success? What's really interesting, we know this happens. Once you get past the process of, why am I doing this? And then I have to do it. I wonder, for those of you, there's 7 or 8 of you that were up here, did your mindset shift? Did it change? Right? That middle bit. When it started. What was your inner dialogue? What was your inner monologue that was going on inside your head? Right? The food's about to come out. Right? Right? Because often, when we first start something, this is where things can often be presented in an incorrect fashion. Right? We tell ourselves we can't do something. Right? The self-doubt generally kicks in. And so this is the moment where we really, if you're going to work on our resilience, this is the work that we need to do. The first bit's quite easy, because we can reset our perception of an event. It's when we start something. I had the fortune for my master's thesis of doing a dissertation on basically pain tolerance. And what we found, of all the activities, so regardless of whether it was sport or strength, the only factor that determined someone's ability to tolerate pain was determination. So if you're determined, if you've got a reason to do something, you're more likely to put up with the discomfort than if you don't have a reason to do it. It was the only factor that showed up in the analysis that was statistically significant. Which is really...
All the ED doctors hear that, please, next time I go to ED.
Sure.
Because I'm determined not to end up on the DSP.
Sounds like a good idea. Right, and then the last one was, what was I thinking just before I gave up? It's that crucial moment of going, I'm done. Like, I've got... Now, the question for those of you who are doing the activity, did you give up when you heard me say 4 minutes? Yeah, because you're like, okay, that's my goal. I'm Olympian, I've done it, that's it, I didn't have anything else to prove. Versus those who went, I wanted to see how far I can actually go. I want to see how much I can actually push myself. Right? And it's that ability at that moment in time that we get a unique insight into the way that our brains think about discomfort and how we can kind of push through. And the reality is, unfortunately, sometimes the only way to know this is to put yourselves in situations where you can challenge yourself. If you're going to take the easiest pathway down the hill tomorrow, and you're only going to go on the green runs, well, you're only going to get good at the green runs. Right? At some point in time, you've got to try a red run to see how well you can go. No? We need to challenge ourselves.
There are several people who can
Attest to the fact that you shouldn't do it.
that I've already fallen over.
That's fine. So my final thought to you is, you need to be better. Yeah? I know it's a simple concept, but for me it's being a better version of yourself. You don't have to be like anybody else. It's how do I be a better version of myself? How do I understand my responses? How do I understand what's important to me? How do I know what my goals are and how can I set them to be more effective? And how can I be better? Thanks guys, really appreciate your time.